Well, as everything come on, hey, welcome. This is Bridges. This is Bridges Live. This is Dr. Paul Dyer. I'm with my newfound friend Kola Atu, and he is in London. Well, what part of London are you in right now?
I am actually on the outskirts of London in Bristol. I
Are you?
moved out of London about 7 years ago. I moved out of London 7 years
No.
ago.
Oh, so you're in Bristol. Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
So,
yes.
one thing about Bridges Live, and those of you who like the show, please like, share, and love. And if you have any questions for Cola or myself when it comes to what we're going to be talking about, please inbox us either on the YouTube channel or the Facebook, wherever you see it or hear it. If you have any questions, but Cola, introduce yourself to Bridges Live, please.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Paul. It's great to connect with you. And I have been on a journey for a pretty long time. I came to England when I was 17 and I went through some intense journey. It's like I guess I had to figure it out on my own.
Mhm.
And I have been through Christianity. I left Christianity. I went into metaphysics and I was very much into I start changing my diet from the age of 19. I started really getting into running and changing my diet. And then by the time I was mid 20s, I fell into meditation. I met Anthony Robbins, and I kind of like come to a point where I moved on from there. I went into the Eastern spirituality with Dr. Eckhart Tolle, and that made a lot of sense to my life at that time. A lot of integration, because there are some challenges I was facing at that time that there's no amount of prayer I could do that could change it. So I have to live with it. I have to accept it.
Mhm.
And I cannot keep on putting myself in a place where I feel separated within myself. So in order to feel integrated and to feel in the present moment, I need to start practicing being in the present moment. And that's where I feel like my spiritual journey actually feel makes a lot of sense to me. That's when I stopped searching. I think it was in 2008. I think so. When I was 28, I stopped searching. And then around 2010, I came across I started doing yoga because I couldn't go out to run anymore because I couldn't walk up the staircase
Oh wow!
because
Oh
I
wow!
because I run too much. I was doing like 12 miles every day. And then I came across a book called A Course in Miracles.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, in 2010, I started doing Ashtanga yoga,
Mm-hmm.
which changes the way I experience the energy in my body. And for the first time, something came alive, the way I experience, I think the breathing as a way of like energetically getting their chakra point, the energy center of the body, wakes them up. And my whole life changes. And then I begin to really understand the whole idea of being in the present moment and the whole idea that the present moment is all there is. And at that time in my life, that really feels good. Not just feels good, it was healthy. I was able to be in the present moment. I was able
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
integrate, be in my body,
Yeah.
rather than feeling like, oh, I cannot do this, oh, I can, and then feeling unhappy. And then, yeah, and that was in London. And then I moved to Bristol that was in 2 years later. And I, got married and things happened. And
Life gets in the way.
oh yes, life happened, and then I came across quite a lot of new growth, neuroscience of attachment. I came across all of the attachment trauma work, attachment, and especially the neuroscience of attachment and the neurobiology of attachment, including Paul Vega theory,
Yes.
which I would recommend a lot of your reader to really understand, the science of our being, which also aligns with quantum science as well,
Yes.
because there is a heart and a science to our nature, as also the nature of the biological world. So that is where my work begin to really solidify as a person.
If
Yeah.
you notice behind me is the neural circuits of the brain. It's one of those
Yes.
things that I agree with you that there is a science to living, and
Yes.
understanding the
Yes.
science to living helps you, can help you to live completely. Now, someone had asked me once,
Completely agree.
does if I don't understand the science, does that mean I'm unable to be happy? And I say no. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I think if you don't understand why is what you do is what you are,
Oh,
then
yes.
how could you understand why you're happy? Now, enjoy your happiness, but here's the thing that people will always question: why am I sad? Why am I
Hmm.
feeling disconnected? Why do I feel something empty? Well, if you can start learning the understanding of all of your hows, how you're connected, your body chemistry, how you are wired emotionally, intelligently, biologically, chemistry. If you understood your how, then you could answer your why. You had said something about when you changed, something just connected. I think when people hear that,
Yeah.
they too go, aha. What was that transition like when it went, I get it?
Yeah. It was, I think, like I said, the Ashtanga yoga. It was like introduction to energy,
Yes.
introduction to breathing and
Mm.
energy. And I must tell you that that was a moment my life completely changed. The way I show up in the world, the way I show up as a single person meeting other single women, and that changes everything. And I feel more in control of my life with the breathing. And I got a lot of friends who do yoga now. I don't do yoga anymore, but I still do breathing. And I don't do Ashtanga yoga, but I still have one of the element of doing breathing exercise is
Hmm.
that you begin to really have a deeper relationship
With
with
yourself.
your respiratory organ,
Hmm.
your breathing um, tool. So with yourself, and in a sense that because somebody says that our breathing is our form. Without breathing, we have no form.
And
And
there's a difference between breathing and actively breathing. And I want to
yes,
stress that point. Most people who are breathing, they are probably, if they have not been trained or taught or practice it, they're not actively breathing, which they're not intentionally engaging their organs, their body, and their connection.
it is very, very, and I think you said something I'm trying to recall about you have to know the reason why you are happy. You have to know the reason why you're not unhappy at different times of our life. And the point is not happy or not happy. The point, like you said, is once you understand the sign is about awareness.
Yes.
It's about a really understanding the nature of reality, because that's what science is. Science, is to empower us to understand the nature of reality. And one thing I'm learning lately is that the moment you become aware that you're
Hmm.
aware, you don't have to do anything to affect the nature of reality. What you are looking at changes.
Changes. It just
It
does.
changes, fundamentally changes.
Everything.
It changes fundamentally. And
Hmm.
that's what I'm learning even more. I am beginning to aware, because I went through this period of living in a very unsecure, unstable circumstance. It's affected my brain. And it took me a while to, I tell you the truth, Dr. Paul, I was a very conscious person. I was running, I was doing yoga, but until I
Mm.
noticed the impact of the environment to my brain, 19 years of living in uncertain, insecure situation,
Hmm.
until I bring awareness to the impact of that environment to my brain, it, I didn't even notice it. I didn't even realize how it was affecting my life.
Right.
I did not even realize how it was making me go into freeze
Mm.
state. So it was recently, thank God for the lockdown, in a sense, the lockdown has its pros and cons. Everybody is resting. The nervous system, the universal nervous system is resting.
Hmm.
So I was able to really be conscious that, oh my God, I think that that 19 years has really make me have affected changed my brain in a sense that I actually begin to recall my friend was asking me, "Oh, why are you not excited about this thing that just happened?" I said, "I'm not excited about it because I don't think there's any excitement you should be excited about it because I have to live
Yeah.
with something that I couldn't change. So I
Right.
have to live in the present moment, not
Correct.
get excited about what is happening or the future." So that's part of the freeze experience. So it was until now I begin to see. Now I'm not practicing. How funny! I'm not practicing being excited about even things that's happening in my
Yeah.
imagination
Yeah.
that I've not even seen yet. I'm not practicing. That's what I practice every morning. I practice excitement about my day. It may look like what's he talking about until you've been through experience of trauma and freeze, where you feel short now, where you feel afraid of the future, like most trauma people,
Yes.
afraid of the present moment.
Correct.
So, you have to understand the science. I'm bringing awareness. I'm bringing awareness and or to the situation, to a certain thing in your life. You can never change it.
You can never change it, and that's the thing about the awareness. Some people say, "Why I'm practicing awareness," and I said, "Well, here's the thing: you either the observer or the observee. I mean, you have to understand where you are in your awareness. Once you know you're aware, where are you? Are
Yeah.
you the one looking, or are you the one doing? There's a difference between in awareness. There's actually different states of presenceness. And I think, for me, being a Buddhist, a practicing Buddhist, for many over 30 years, and then being a Black Buddhist, that has always been this, you're Black, and and I said, because once I opened my heart up to the universe and became aware and understanding my connection, that is when it all exploded into
Yes.
amazingness.
Yes,
And
I hear that.
so, to help people along, Colo, and I'd like to again thank you for coming on Bridges Live. For help
Thank you.
people coming along, what would you suggest they take in first? Is it just learning how to connect themselves, or learning how to do something and then be aware of how they're connecting themselves?
It's a very interesting question. It's a question that I am, and my answer is also a answer. Sorry, it's an answer that I am also really begin to realize the power of it, the
Mm,
impact of it. And it's very simple, and it's shocking, and it's surprisingly that somebody said, if you want to hide God somewhere,
put them
where
in
do you
plain
think we
sight.
should where do you think you should hide him? Inside human body.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a weirdest thing. And the thing is that the answer to your question is you got to start being aware of how we breathe. And is there, you know, the the first sign of life is breath.
Mm-hmm.
Without breath, we have no form, we have no presence, we have no
Mm-hmm.
being. It may seem mundane, but the moment I tell my client that, we always start on the exhale,
Mm-hmm.
on the emptying out. And that's where we start. And the reason why, and if you look at it, when you actually lie down to start noticing your breath, you know, the thing you start doing is that you start noticing that you actually out of pace with your
Yes.
breath.
Yeah.
That's what you start realizing. You're like, oh my God, I'm actually, 20, 50 step ahead of my breath. So
Mhm.
you have to start slowing down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the moment you start slowing down, you actually find that it's the exhale. taking the pressure off the brake. You're taking the pressure off the what do you call it? The pedal. They actually begin to slow things down. And which is the exhale, exhale until we're completely empty. And you get to the bottom, and I use that the description, like you get to the bottom of the sea and you find out how still the bottom of the sea is.
Right. It doesn't move. There
Complete.
is no waving going on.
No, no. And the interesting way together when you begin this work, is that it feels scary when you actually lie down or sit down to start noticing your breath and to start placing attention. And that is the point of awareness. Where you place your attention is where energy goes. And in the quantum experiment, they say that you will find the subatomic particles where there's energy.
Yes.
It's interesting. They say you always find the particle where there's a lot of energy. So the same thing is that the moment I cannot explain this to you. You have to experiment. It's your own quantum experiment. It's your own experiment with life.
Here's what.
See them.
Here's one of those other things, oh man, I love talking to you, Kola. Thank you so much for visiting with me. If people, the one thing that doesn't get talked about or spoken about to the young from the elders is how to make love.
Yes.
And the first person you can ever make love to is with yourself.
Oh my God.
And in yourself, there is connection with your breath and your body. So when you are joining your breath with your body, that is the first love making you are having with the universe and yourself. Because if anyone ever had, guys and girls and whomever, if you've ever had that connection with a human body and you are making love, you are breathing. It's everything is exhaling and inhaling. That is where the breath energy lies. Even so, we explain it with a partner, but just think about that passion expression you're having with your breath in the universe every moment.
Yes, so profound. If you have no relationship with your respiratory tools, with your breathing, I'm sorry, you've not been making love. You've just been blowing smoke. You've just been, blowing the box and just been exploding.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because you experience different people in the act of love making, and you begin to see that people are in different places with their body and with their breath. And you kind of notice, you kind of see that pattern, and you just notice that it is there, that people and different lovers bring different dimension to the creation that you are making. And the depth of that creation depends on where you both are. And even if one is higher than the other in terms of their practice or more mature, there's a bit of depth there. And it's very interesting because, everything happens within the breath. The breath gives you form. The breath gives you endurance. If you are a diver, a runner, like you do Aikido, you practice a lot of movement. Everything happens within the breath. It's a breath that gives you form. When you're singing, for example, what I notice is that the reason why breathing is so good for your nervous system is because there's a longer exhale.
Yes.
There's a longer exhale than the inhale, and it's just that you have to really begin to really develop, and it's that relationship with your body. And it doesn't matter how you start, where you start, whatever you're feeling, just sit your body down. And what I realized, even me that I've been practicing for a long time, I get to my bed or to where I am going to practice, and the moment I close my eyes and I place my hand on my chest and the other arm on my tummy, oh my God, a lot of noise. Oh, you didn't talk very well to that person. Oh, you didn't shake hand very well to that person. Oh, the water is trickling down the street. Oh, all kind of noise
Noise.
come. And then your body will now go to its own story. Oh, there's some pain here. Oh, the food is still in your tummy from yesterday. Oh, you need to go to the bathroom to pee. Oh, this. And those excuses, those things are yours. You have to just let them be. And that is where a lot of people give up. And especially if you haven't done it before, oh, you would say that, oh, my there is some tension in my tummy, and that tension in my tummy is affecting my brain. I better stop and go just watch TV or just do something else. And that is a trick. And like I said, that the most important thing is that awareness. Just sit down and be aware of all the guests in your house. No judgment.
When and if more people become awakened,
Yeah,
we will stop all this bickering on many different levels, and we
yeah.
will start joining in a true sense of
Oh,
community,
yes.
as
Oh, yes.
in compassion and love.
Yes. It's very powerful you say that. It's very, very powerful. State, you just interject into that. And it's very interesting that as you are begin the practice of just noticing your breath. I know people who are really advanced practitioner
Yeah.
who used to say that, they can be an hour lying down to do breathing exercise. They are still dealing with their demons. They're just definitely with a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And and the most profound thing out of this practice is whether you're going to end up judging yourself about
There it
all
is.
the thing that comes up. Like you said, is that, and that's the place self-compassion start. That's the place not feeling guilty. I mean, I lie down to meditate, to do my breathing, and a lot of shame come up, a lot of insecurity come up about things I didn't do,
Yeah.
about things I did have. I did have. I mean, I did. Partly didn't finish up, and it's that place where you begin to see how you judge other people,
Yeah,
and
because you
actually
judge
how you
yourself.
judge yourself.
Because you
Yeah,
judge yourself. Yeah. And a
yeah.
lot, and we know, and I don't think, we mentioned words like ego and judgment. And as soon as you do that, you can, or if you automatically resist those words, that is also a telltale sign that you have them. So if I
Yes.
tell you you have a lot of ego and judgment, oh no, not me, that in itself lets you know you have judgment, because you just said you just judged yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I have. It's very funny you say that. I have somebody who I'm dealing with, a very close one, and anytime I say, you know, anytime I say there's some trauma here, I don't have trauma. I don't, and I'm like, look, I am traumatized, and I've been telling you for ages
Hmm.
that I have my own issues, but we cannot work together if you keep if you keep if you keep if you keep avoiding this thing. And it's normal to have critical voice in your head. It's part of human experience. It's normal to have judgment because these are the things we learn growing up.
That's right.
But and the key is not, we're not trying to change you. We're not trying to change
Just
ourselves. We're just
aware.
trying to bring awareness.
Awareness.
We're not trying to change anything.
Right.
Just bringing awareness. It is that energy of awareness that we need to bring the soothing, blissful experience that begin to coerce our mind and
Hmm.
begin to soothe our mind like a great mother soothe a child, that 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 then begins to really inspire change. That's the word.
You know what I find that's probably most difficult for men specifically, because
Yeah.
for two men, is when you start to open yourself up, you start to become highly sensitive.
Yeah.
And in that
Indeed.
sensitivity, you're sensitive to words, you're sensitive to environments. And for myself
Yes.
speaking, it hurts
Mm.
because it develops a crying. I am saddened by what things might say. Not that I don't want you to not say something, but it hurts me and I'm saddened
Yes.
because I am open up to the feelings of others, to the compassion of others. So that
Yes.
sensitivity, it's in every sense of the word, it is very sensitive. So there is a lot of emotions. There is a lot of crying, or what you may feel, or feeling like, or helplessness. And those feelings are okay.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I really like what you said about the sensitivity, and that, as you begin to do this work, you become sensitive, and it's so healthy to be,
Hmm.
to be alive, and to be
To be alive.
aware of energy, and to just be aware, and to be in touch with the power of words.
Hmm.
And when people say harsh word, you notice it. Oh, you know this thing, they're like guides. My life has been saved by friend, from people
Hmm.
who, if I have stayed close to them, I would have been off really badly. And I know friends who have been off by friends who have been, whose life has actually been destroyed by friends
Hmm.
because they are not aware of their own emotions.
Correct.
So being sensitive is really, really, really powerful. And part of the maturity in this practice is that, we begin to either regulate ourselves in a sense that people are allowed to be wherever they are, and we are allowed to feel whatever we feel, and also to create a boundary where the people we allow into our space are people that are safe, that
Yes.
care about their feeling and
Yeah.
our feelings.
Yes.
And that is the way, there's sensitivity and there is healthy boundary. And I would say to somebody that empathy is a
Mm.
function of the mirror neurons.
Yes, right.
Because and you cannot do empathy with somebody who have trauma, and therefore their mirror neurons is not working, it's not active. So if you're doing empathy with that person, somebody with some trauma that is
Mhm.
untreated, you cannot do empathy because you are not in an attachment relationship with them. You're not in the care reciprocity relationship with them. So you have to move out of that
Correct.
boundary and then find a relationship where you can both do care reciprocity, where the person can pick up on your feelings and you can pick up on your feelings. And that is where mirror neurons is active and healthy and connected.
And the only way you're going to recognize the mirror neurons that you're talking about that they establish in the frontal lobe and for cognitively is that if you can become aware of how it's affecting you in your
Yes,
body. So,
exactly.
so I mean,
It's this thing is connected. It's
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's connected, and like we said, understand the science. It's no, we're not trying to understand the science because we want to fill our head with words.
right,
No, we fill our head with words so that we can have a deeper awareness,
yeah,
so that we can bring presence. Because when we understand the nature of reality, we have more language to describe our internet experience, and therefore we can really bring presence. The whole idea is to, like somebody like Dr. George Spen used to say, is that we learn with our heads,
mm-hmm.
yes, but we also apply with our
Why?
hearts.
Yes,
And when do we do with our hands?
mm-hmm.
And all of those, we're not learning so that we can fill our heads with some bunch of words. No, it's the energy. When you're practicing being the present moment, you mean business. You're not just like reading books and throwing words about. No, you really mean business.
So
Um,
how can people, if they want to talk to you directly, get a hold of you, visit with you, how can they get a hold of you?
um, at the moment, you can actually find me on Instagram, where I'm very active, and I
Mm-hmm.
tend to make 3 or 4 videos every week on that. And that is where I am at the moment. And you can inbox me directly on there, and I'll get back to you. And I'm hoping that before summer, my website will be live and active, so people can see more of my work and some of the things that I endorse and work with. in my personal life as well. So, but on Instagram, you see a lot of my work on there. And yeah, you can watch a lot of my videos. You have questions, go on there and check me out.
Well, brother, we're coming to a close of the show of Bridges Live, and your home is always welcome in my home. You can always
Thank you
call up,
so
and we do
much.
more of this.
Yes,
I
yes.
want you to stay safe and happy in Bristol.
Thank you.
We'll talk more about this, and I'll invite you onto more shows, please. Just if you have anything new to say, just you have my number. You can always call up like you
Yes,
do, and
yes, yes.
just say, and you take care of your family, take care of your beautiful son. And I
Thank you
know
very
that
much.
as we raise our children, we raise our grandchildren, and we raise
Yes,
ourselves, we're raising awareness. We're not raising them and training them. We're raising them in vibration.
yes.
We're raising them
Absolutely.
in heavenly
Oh,
spirit
wow.
and glow. So
Yes.
yeah,
Wow. Thank
that's
you for
what we're
that.
raising them to be.
Yes, yes, yes. Dr. Paul, I must say it's been a pleasure to connect with you. I really enjoy talking to you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. God
Thank
bless,
you.
my brother. See
Yeah.
you.
Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.